Hi, my name is Koisha Brown, and my paper is called Mexican Immersion. It is a comparative cultural essay. Recently, I had the opportunity to immerse myself in the Mexican culture. I traveled to Mexico during the month of December, which gave me the opportunity to not only experience their culture, but be able to experience their extreme love for their religion. I spent 6 days in Mexico and it kind of felt like a month. I was in the town of San Felipe in Guanajuato, Mexico. During my stay, I attended a traditional Mexican wedding. I visited San Juan de Lejos Church in Jalisco. I shopped the shops and walked in El Centro, and I stayed at my friend's home. Fortunately for me, her home was more up to date and more Americanized, so I didn't have too much trouble there. Everyone was extremely welcoming during my stay, and they treated me as if I was already a part of their family, so I felt extremely comfortable. The way the people were in the city, they were extremely helpful, and when I wasn't able to communicate and use my Spanish as I thought I would, they did everything they could to help me. Thinking back, prior to my departure to Mexico, I was extremely nervous. I was so scared. I had horrible thoughts of human trafficking, drug cartels, and murderers. All of this, it just made me nervous. But the moment I stepped off the plane, all of that changed. Everybody greeted me, and they were so polite and so helpful everywhere I went through the airport until I made it to where I needed to be to where they could take us to our destination. Although I didn't really envision where I was going, seeing these beautiful beaches and wonderfully built homes, what I was so concerned of is how impoverished the city was and how poorly built the houses were. The houses weren't even shacks, as we would call it here in America. Even though the people had so little, what I loved about their culture is their love for life. They kept their faith in God and it kept them going. Situations where they had no running water, no electricity, that would get some of us down here. And so they just kept going. However, my thoughts about their country was right. They were poor. It was impoverished. Um, our culture and their culture both have a strong sense of family being a major priority. However, something that was very different was they were allowed to dump their trash in the streets of their city. And that's how they picked up, just dump the trash. No trash cans, no nothing. Just dump the trash, and that's how the trash would be picked up. Something I wish I learned more about was El Posito. It's the place in the church where people go and leave things and pray, and hopefully what they're praying for comes true because they're giving offering. Some concepts and generalizations. Since being in Mexico, I found that religion was very important to them next to family. They enjoy life as it comes and they don't frown on the things that they don't have. The art in the city speaks volumes. They believe that they're derived from the native Indians, and many arts and many art exhibits show that. You can see that everywhere you go in these cities. Um, you expect to find welcoming and happy people, and their primary language there is Spanish. And some people do speak English, but not very much where we were at when we were in Mexico. Um, Although all of their resources are limited, I always think I wish that I could have done more to help them. Um, some things that I want to put forth in the future is learning about this culture benefited me because now I feel more culturally experienced and open to others and their cultures. I tried to educate myself more on what's happening internationally, politics, because I want to understand how countries can become this incredibly impoverished and stay that way, and what are other countries doing to help them and help them get out of this? Since I returned from Mexico, I feel so much more comfortable with other cultures, and I want to do more to help others feel comfortable with them. It's important to teach your children about other cultures because they must learn to accept people no matter their background. I can't wait to travel more places and enhance my knowledge of different cultures. I am incredibly sensitive to other people from different cultures now because I want them to feel that they don't have to be judged. I want them to be able to be themselves. And most important to remember when you are learning about other cultures is to always keep an open mind. You'll be different and there will be differences, but keep an open mind.